Well, a service dog for me is part of the healing process for the post-traumatic stress that I've discovered over the last couple of years as a result of being in Afghanistan in 2006. Apart from the medical side of things, sitting down with a doctor and discussing the different triggers and ways to mitigate them, a dog helps you when you're at home. They're with you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they're trained to detect the triggers that will cause the anxiety, or they will wake me up from night terrors, things like that I experience throughout daily life. So, and they just generally improve the quality of life for anybody, really.
What are some of the things that Clover does for you?
She does nighttime interruptions if I'm having night terrors, where she'll come up and she'll put her mouth on my hand, or she'll put her paws on my arm, or even worse, she's got those big sloppy jowls. I'll get it on the face sometimes, depending on how bad it is or how hard it is to wake me up. She breaks me from my routine. I have a very obsessive routine where I'll go and train in the morning, or I'll go for a run, then I'll hit the books all day. So she tends to break the routine in the sense of reminding me, like, hey, there's other things out there. You can put the books aside for a bit, or, you know, we'll go do something, and we'll go to the park, go grab a coffee, and then, so she breaks that routine up very nicely.
What has it been like having her around for the last few months here?
Well, the first couple of months were the hardest, because once you get a service dog, then you didn't have one before, the questions come up is like, you seem perfectly normal to me, you look healthy, happy, why do you have one? And then you got to say, well, I had a traumatic brain injury in 2006. I was injured from an explosion, hurt my neck and my back and my arm pretty good. And so she's something that helps me throughout my daily life now. And it's like a walking billboard. So it was quite tough to accept that at first. And now it's become more of a positive feeling for me, because I go out in public and people are like, hey, nice dog. And I'm like, hey, thanks. Like, because I'm really self-conscious having this billboard everywhere I go. But it definitely, it just changes the way I do things now. It's nice.
What's something that you'd like people to know about service dogs, and maybe something they don't know, or some misconceptions?
Well, and I was guilty of it myself. When I think of a service dog, I always think visually impaired or hearing impaired. But the truth is, they're being used for diabetics now, autism. They're being used for seizures, mobility issues for veterans or first responders who have been hurt on the job. Even something as simple as just helping them up the stairs or packing groceries. I think the hard part for people, and it'd be really important to understand, is these dogs are performing a task and they're working, even when they look like they're not working. So even though she's taking it easy behind me right now, she's performing a task. Her mind is always working. So if you cannot distract them, that's super important to us as a handler. Because I equate it to somebody doing a very complicated math formula and they're doing it under a time restraint, and you're putting your fingers in their ears and you're trying to talk to them. They're not going to get the best possible results. So if you cannot distract the dog through making eye contact or trying to call the dog's name, or even worse, the hard one for people is patting the dog. So.